Zdeno Chara. Zdeno Chara, the 43-year-old left defenseman for the Boston Bruins, has been on the Bruins since 2006 and has been the captain of their team basically since I've been 8 years old. It's been a long time. It's hard to imagine the Bruins without Zdeno Chara, but it is a possibility we may be looking at this year. Now, it says in the quotes that I'm going to put up on the screen here, it sounds like it was a matter of Chara waiting to see the news of how the NHL season will play out, how many games, the schedule. 43-year-old guy probably needs to know if he thinks his body can keep up with it at the old age. You read the quotes though, it sounds like Cam Neely. Cam Neely's the top two quotes. The bottom two quotes are regarding what Zdeno Chara's agent has said. It sounds like it's going to be on Zdeno Chara to decide whether he comes back or not. You read the bottom quote specifically, it says 20 plus teams have called asking about his services because he is an effective piece even at his old age, and even with his abilities diminishing, he brings something that a lot of teams don't have, which is physicality and just an ability to take up more space on a penalty kill with his big 6'9" frame and just his ability to shut things down, the hockey IQ, the leadership. There's a lot to like about having Zdeno Chara, and it's one of the reasons I think that it's a no-brainer to bring back Chara. There's a few reasons you should definitely bring back Chara, and his penalty killing ability alone is one of the biggest. You can pause and read the quotes if you want. I'm not going to read them. I just put them there for context of what's going on behind the scenes because, you might be looking at the Bruins roster and being like, why isn't Chara there? So to point out the ability, just because some people, still think Chara is washed, and like he is in many ways when it comes to puck movement, skating, but when you plant him in your own zone with defensive face-offs, he's able to win the puck back. And some players can't do that. Like if you put out Matt Grzelcyk, he's gonna have a tougher time winning puck battles on the boards than Zdeno Chara. It just is what it is. And the Boston Bruins had the third best power penalty kill in the league last year at 84.19%. And if you look on the bottom left there, ice time leaders in the category are Brandon Carlo and Zdeno Chara, who I have pictured there on the right. Those two guys at 6'5" and 6'9" cover so much space that it really makes other teams' forwards struggle down low. It's hard to get in front of the net and have a good net front presence on the power play when you're playing against the Bruins. And those two guys are a big reason why. And in this season, we're going to need a good penalty kill. And I don't see many guys on the lineup who can do what Chara and Carlo do. McAvoy being the exception, but McAvoy plays so much ice time, and he's going to be running the power play this year, that you probably don't want to be overloading him with also penalty kill time because there's only so much gas in his tank, and you don't want him playing half an hour a night just for the pure fact that the longer he'll play, he'll lose his effectiveness. You don't want to have to do what the Ottawa Senators are going to do with Thomas Chabot and probably have him out there 29 minutes a night. The Bruins don't need to do that. They're deep enough to be able to load manage their guys to get the best out of them and have them be fresher than other teams' best defensemen are, which I think Charlie McAvoy is the best defenseman on the team. It's just you have him doing so much else. He already has so much responsibility that, having Chara and Carlo on the first penalty kill unit is a big weight off his shoulders, and one less thing McAvoy has to lead the team in. That being said, like I'm gonna acknowledge, like Chara is probably you probably want to deploy him as a third pair defenseman this year and a penalty kill specialist. We saw how bad his legs were last year. He's slow. He's really slow. He should be there for defensive zone starts, which he basically out of the defensemen led the team in, with about 60-something% of his zone starts coming in the defensive zone, and only I think it's 33 are in the offensive zone. So if you look at a lot of his Corsi and all that, it's not really indicative of how effective he is, because he's really just to get it out of the D zone and get into the offensive zone. His offensive abilities have really diminished, but that's why you have him in the third line role. You play him 15 minutes a night or whatever. His legs can only do so much, especially with the game totals this season. It just makes sense to bring him back for multiple reasons along those lines. Another reason is you have 56 games in 116 days. You are probably going to be rotating some defensemen in and out of the lineup more so than you usually would, just because of the time crunch and how many games you're going to have to play. You're playing a game every other day for about 5 straight months, a little less than 5 straight months. And, Chara doesn't have to play every night. If there's 56 games, he could play 45. You load manage these guys. You have the depth. The Boston Bruins have that luxury. We're going to look at the lines right now. We're going to look at the pairs for the Bruins right now. I put the offense there. We're not going to talk about them. I just put it there for you to see. I really like how the Bruins' top 9 looks going into next year. I think a whole year of Kasha and Smith is going to do wonders for the top 9's consistency. And I think you are actually looking at the best forward core the Bruins have had in the last half decade. I think Craig Smith and Andre Kasha for a whole season really solidify it. And I think Bjork on the third line with Coyle and Smith, it's going to be a good line. I really feel confident that. The D-core, though, losing Krug, and if you were to lose Chara, it's a big blow. It's not unovercomable. It's not insurmountable. That's a better word. But it definitely would take an adjustment period because, you look at that, that D-core would look a lot better if you slid Chara into John Moore's spot and then slid Krug into Jeremy Lauzon's spot. And that's no offense to Jeremy Lauzon or John Moore. They are both NHL defensemen that would start on a lot of teams and be in lineups on a lot of teams. But the Bruins are a deep team defensively, and that's one of the reasons they've had deep cup runs and deep playoff runs. And the only team that's been able to knock them off the last 3 years is the 2 times they've run into Tampa, which they run into them pretty early because we're in the same division. That being said, I really think that should be the first pair, Grzelcyk and McAvoy. Even if Chara came back, I think that pair is going to work pretty good. It's very versatile, very good at moving the puck. That's the pair you want out there. Probably for both of them are probably going to split power play time. I guess McAvoy in the first unit, Grzelcyk on the second. Maybe swap that. Grzelcyk's pretty good with the puck himself, no doubt about that. But I think McAvoy is going to be running that. And the first penalty kill unit would probably just be the second pair. And Connor Clifton, Matt Grzelcyk, not 2 guys you want on the penalty kill just because they're not the biggest bodies. McAvoy can do it. John Moore can do it. So it's survivable without Chara. It's just Chara plays a better role than John Moore does on there, and I'd rather see someone like Chara in the lineup over John Moore. But you also have to talk about 2 guys not listed in this lineup, which is Urho Vakanainen and Kevin Miller. Kevin Miller's been out with an injury for what feels like forever now, and he's a right defenseman, but he brings physicality. He might slide into the lineup over a guy like Clifton. He's going to get opportunities just because of how many games they play, and the inconsistencies of Connor Clifton will probably continue. I hope not. I like Connor Clifton, but it wouldn't shock me if you see him being bounced in and out of the lineup, kind of like he has been his whole career as a Bruin. Cliffy hockey's fun, but Cliffy hockey can kind of be reckless at times. Urho Vakanainen, we haven't been able to see much of the kid. He played in that game against Vancouver early last year and then got a concussion, and then we never really saw much of him after that. He's supposedly he's our best defensive prospect in the system. I honestly can say I have not seen him play a whole ton, but judging from what I've seen from the other guys listed as defensemen who we have under contract, none of them really do it for me. Zaboral doesn't really do it for me. Jackachon, I'm not really sure what you got there. He played at St. Cloud and was phenomenal, but that's college hockey. He'll probably play in the A this year if the A has a season. So Urho Vakanainen has a good shot at getting in this lineup over a J-Lo or a John Moore. So there's a few things to look at here on the defensive side of it. But you gotta, when you look at the Bruins' defensive prospects right now, you look who is in the system, you can look at it and commonly say a year of Chara probably isn't slowing down anyone's development. It might slow down J-Lo's a little bit, but I think we all kind of know what J-Lo is at this point. He's probably a bottom pairing defenseman, maybe a top 4 defenseman, but his ceiling is not that high. Urho Vakanainen has a higher ceiling, but honestly, he's only 21. Another year in the A wouldn't kill him. It's a competitive league. He would still develop, and then he might even be more ready. So I don't really think it holds anyone back. That's the big thing. And I think Chara just, the penalty kill ability, I don't think it's over. I don't think you can overlook it. I think it's really about how Bruce Cassidy deploys him. He shouldn't be playing more than 15 minutes a night at this stage of his career, barring him, finding the time machine. But that's basically my thoughts on the Bruins D pair. You can see in the top right here, it would be pretty sad to not have both Krug and Chara this year. I never really gave my thoughts on Krug. I don't really think it's necessary. He's gone. Went to a team I really don't like. You can probably pick up how I feel about that. But it would be a shame to see Chara go. I don't think we'll have to deal with it, though. I think you'll see Chara wearing the Spoke B come January this year. It's just a matter of time until that news drops. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you want more content, I plan on uploading videos every day, maybe even multiple uploads a day. You can hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter. You see it on the left, at Pat Sylvia NHL. And that's all I got for you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.